Imagine stumbling upon 2 VIP tickets to the concert of a lifetime, the perfect gift for a loved one who deserves the world. But there's a catch. They belong to someone else. Would you keep them or do the right thing? Emily's journey shows that sometimes the toughest choices lead to unforgettable moments. Emily was walking home through the city park on a quiet evening, lost in thought. College classes were demanding, and juggling 2 part-time jobs wasn't easy. She had recently been talking with her mom about Christmas plans, but they both knew that money was too tight to expect anything special this year. Then, as she passed a park bench, something caught her eye, a pair of concert tickets neatly placed as if left there on purpose. Curious, Emily walked over, picked them up, and felt her heart skip a beat. The tickets were for the VIP section of a Jackson Harlow concert, the singer her mom adored. He had been her mother's favorite musician since her youth, and she would often play his old records on Sundays, filling their small home with nostalgic tunes. Jackson Harlow's comeback tour was the event of the year. Tickets had sold out within hours when they were announced. Her mom had always dreamed of seeing him live, but between bills and their modest income, it was impossible. The concert was in 2 days, and Emily's heart raced as she imagined her mom's reaction to these VIP tickets. This was more than just a night out. It was a dream her mother had all but given up on. But as Emily turned the tickets over, her excitement dampened. There, printed in elegant handwriting, was a dedication to Jamie and Carl with love and strength. Jackson Harlow. Her initial excitement faded as she felt a twinge of guilt. It was clear these tickets were meant for someone specific, someone special, likely facing challenges of their own. A wave of conflict washed over her. These tickets could bring her mom immense joy, but at the same time, they weren't hers to give. That night, Emily lay in bed, the tickets resting on her nightstand. She thought about her mom and how much she deserved this special night, especially after all the sacrifices she'd made over the years. But her mom had always raised her to value honesty, to be true to her principles. That's what made her hesitate. She knew her mom wouldn't want a gift that belonged to someone else. After hours of sleepless contemplation, Emily made a decision. The next morning, she posted on social media, mentioning that she'd found 2 VIP tickets to the Jackson Harlow concert and was trying to locate the owner. Her post immediately gained traction, shared widely by friends, then friends of friends, until she was flooded with messages. In less than half an hour, she had over 10,000 replies, with people across the country claiming the tickets as theirs. At first, she laughed it off, but as the volume of messages increased, Emily felt overwhelmed. Everyone seemed to have a story, a reason why the tickets should go to them. She felt her resolve weaken under the weight of all these pleas. But none of these people knew the exact words inscribed on the tickets, so she decided to post again, asking that only those who knew the exact names and dedication respond. The flood of messages slowed down, then stopped altogether, leaving her without any real leads. Emily began to feel defeated. No one could answer her, and the concert was only a day away. As the hours ticked by, she couldn't shake the nagging feeling that she still hadn't done enough. But then an idea sparked in her mind. Jackson Harlow was holding a press event on the morning of the concert. It was a long shot, but maybe if she went, she could find someone from his team who knew the rightful owners. She rushed to get ready, determined to do the right thing, even if it meant letting go of the dream gift she had wanted to give her mom. The press event was crowded, with reporters, fans, and photographers crammed into every corner of the venue. Emily knew getting close to Jackson would be nearly impossible, but she clutched the tickets tightly, hoping for a miracle. As she tried to inch forward, a surge from the crowd pushed her off balance, and she stumbled, hitting the ground hard. Her head spun for a moment, and when she looked up, she saw Jackson Harlow himself, peering down at her with concern. "Are you all right?" he asked, his voice warm and genuine as he helped her up. Emily was momentarily starstruck, but quickly remembered the tickets in her hand. This was her chance. I think so," she stammered, her words tumbling out. "I found these tickets. They're VIP and dedicated to someone named Jamie and Carl. I've been trying to find them." Jackson's face softened, and he gave her a nod of understanding. "Please wait for me here," he said kindly. "I'd like to hear more about this after the press conference." As Jackson continued with his press obligations, Emily's heart pounded. She could hardly believe she'd spoken to him, let alone that he'd taken her story seriously. When he returned, he listened intently as she explained everything: how she had found the tickets, the dedication, and the flood of people online claiming to be the owners. Jackson took a deep breath, clearly moved by her honesty. "These tickets were part of a special arrangement," he said quietly. "They were meant for Jamie, a woman battling cancer, as a surprise from her husband. It was part of a Make-A-Wish arrangement, and it was the one thing she wanted most." Emily's heart sank. Her decision to return the tickets had been the right one, and hearing Jamie's story made her even more certain. She handed the tickets to Jackson, her hands trembling slightly. "I knew they weren't mine to keep. My mom would have loved to go, but these belong to Jamie and her husband." Jackson looked at her with admiration. "You have no idea how much this means," he said softly. Turning to his assistant, he asked them to contact Jamie's husband to make sure the tickets would reach them in time. Then he turned back to Emily with a thoughtful smile. "I'd love to invite you and your mom to watch the concert from backstage tonight. It's not a VIP seat, but you'd be closer than anyone else." Emily's eyes widened, a wave of gratitude washing over her. "That would be more than enough, Mr. Harlow. Thank you." As she walked home, her heart swelled with excitement. Her mom would get to see the concert after all. She'd even be backstage, something she could have only dreamed of. As she returned home, Emily was bursting with excitement. Her mom had been down lately, feeling disappointed about missing the concert. Emily convinced her to get ready, telling her they were going for a small outing. At first, her mom resisted, but eventually she agreed. When they arrived near the stadium, her mom looked wistful, watching the fans enter. Her mom became visibly nostalgic. "This is the closest I'll ever get to one of his concerts," she murmured with a wistful smile. "Just one night," Emily whispered, pulling 2 concert t-shirts from her bag and handing one to her mom. "We're going to the concert, Mom." Her mom's eyes widened in disbelief. "What? Emily, how did you—" "It's a long story," Emily said, unable to contain her smile. "But tonight, we get to enjoy the show. Let's go in." They approached the special entrance, and a staff member led them through a private door. Just as they entered, there was Jackson standing in the hallway. He greeted them both warmly, addressing Emily by name. "I'll see you two after the show," he said, flashing a smile before heading off. Emily's mom was speechless, her eyes brimming with emotion. For Emily, seeing her mom's joy was worth every sacrifice she had made. As the lights dimmed and the first notes of Jackson Harlow's classic hit filled the stadium, Emily's mom's face lit up like a child's. She clutched Emily's hand, her eyes never leaving the stage. From where they stood backstage, they had an intimate view of the performance. Jackson was just a few steps away, pouring his heart into every note, and the energy in the air was electric. Emily felt her own heart swell, not just from the music, but from the joy radiating from her mom. This was more than she had ever dreamed of giving her. With each song, her mom's face filled with memories, her eyes misty as she mouthed the lyrics to songs that had been part of their lives for so long. Emily knew that each song carried a story, moments her mom had lived, hopes she had shared with her daughter, struggles and joys woven together by Jackson's music. Standing there together, it felt as if they were the only 2 people in the world. As the concert neared its end, a gentle tap on Emily's shoulder drew her attention. It was one of Jackson's assistants, motioning for them to follow. Emily's mom glanced at her, curiosity and excitement sparking in her eyes. They were led to a cozy lounge area backstage, where Jamie and her husband, the true owners of the tickets, were waiting. Emily recognized them immediately from the way they held each other's hands, a quiet strength between them. Jamie, wearing a scarf over her head, gave Emily a warm smile that said everything words couldn't. "You must be Emily," she said, her voice gentle but filled with gratitude. "Thank you for finding us, for giving us this night." Emily felt a lump in her throat as she replied, "I'm just glad you could make it. I knew they weren't my tickets to keep. My mom wanted to be here too, but this was yours to experience." Jamie's husband nodded, his eyes misty as he spoke. "You don't know how much this means to us. Jamie's been going through a lot, and this was something she needed more than words can say. Emily felt tears prickling at the corners of her eyes. "I'm so glad you could be here," she whispered, and Jamie squeezed her hand, a silent bond forming between them. The four of them shared a few moments, talking about the concert, the impact of Jackson's music, and the dreams it had inspired in each of them. Emily's mom and Jamie exchanged memories of old songs, laughing and sharing how they both found strength in the music over the years. Watching them connect, Emily felt something indescribable, an affirmation that returning the tickets had been the right choice, a choice that had led to new friendships and a night filled with more meaning than she could have anticipated. Just as they were about to leave, Jackson entered the room, his presence warm and genuine. He walked over to Emily and her mom, a signed album in hand. "For you," he said, offering it to Emily's mom. "Thank you for being such a dedicated fan. I'm glad you could be here tonight." Then, turning to Emily, he gave her a thoughtful smile. "And thank you, Emily, for your honesty. It's people like you who make the world a better place." Emily's mom held the album close, a look of wonder and gratitude on her face as she met Jackson's gaze. "Your music has been part of my life for so long," she said softly, her voice filled with emotion. "This night was beyond anything I could have dreamed." Jackson chuckled warmly. "I'm just grateful to be part of your lives, even in a small way." As they prepared to leave, Jamie and her husband turned to Emily one last time. "You've given us more than just tickets," Jamie said, her eyes shining with sincerity. "You've given us hope, a reminder that there's kindness in the world. We won't forget this." They exchanged goodbyes, hugs, and promises to keep in touch. Then Emily and her mom made their way home. The concert, the people, and the night itself had created a memory that felt like a precious gift, one that would stay with them forever. During the car ride home, Emily's mom held her hand tightly, her voice soft as she finally spoke. "Thank you, Emily. I don't know how you managed this, but it's something I'll never forget." Emily squeezed her mom's hand, a contented smile on her face. "I just wanted to make you happy. And tonight, I think I learned that sometimes doing the right thing brings its own rewards." Her mom looked at her with pride and warmth, her eyes shimmering in the darkness. "You're a good person, Emily. You've always had a heart full of kindness, and I couldn't be prouder of you." They sat in comfortable silence for the rest of the drive, letting the memories of the night settle in. Emily knew that this experience had been worth every moment of struggle, every difficult choice. She had given her mom the gift of a dream come true, while staying true to the values her mom had instilled in her all along. When they finally arrived home, Emily took one last look at the signed album, the memories of the night still fresh. The music, the connections they'd made, and the feeling of having done the right thing. It was more than she could have asked for. Emily's heart was full, knowing she had not only made her mom's dream come true, but had also honored the kindness and integrity her mom had always taught her. And as they said goodnight, Emily couldn't help but think of Jamie and her husband, knowing that their lives, too, had been touched by a simple act of honesty that led to a night they would all cherish forever. If you were in Emily's shoes, what would you have done? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that challenge the heart and inspire the soul.